Hello and welcome to Pandora FMS. In today's video, we're going to see some of the first steps you may take in your Pandora FMS environment if you just finished installing it or if you're not very familiar with the options this tool offers yet. To get started, let's start with installing Pandora FMS environment. There are several ways to install this, but we strongly recommend using the online installation tool since it will install everything you need automatically and easily and get the server ready to start monitoring your environment. We also have installation methods through packages in case this option is not possible. We'll leave you more information in the description as always. Once you have your Pandora FMS server up and running, the next step is to add agents to your environment. This can be done in multiple ways, either manually with a CSV file by installing a software agent or with a network recognition task. Let's start by creating an agent by installing the software agent online on a Linux system and another on a Windows system using the new online installation wizard. But if you need more information on how to install these agents through other methods, take a look at the description below. Once you have your agents installed and configured, they will appear in Pandora FMS console. In the case of network devices, it is not possible to install said software agent, so it will be necessary to create agents some other way, for example manually. To create an agent manually, go to the Administration menu and then Resources, Manage Agents. Click on Create Agent, fill in the fields of alias, IP, group, and operating system, and your agent will be created. Now proceed to add the metrics or values that you wish to monitor in these devices, what in Pandora FMS we know as models. As we see, software agents have a series of basic metrics monitored by default, while the manually created agent will have none. You may add as many metrics or models as you need, and for that, click on the Models section and then on Create Model. Let's start by creating a network server model. By default, there's a series of network models already configured, such as host alive, latency, to check SSH ports, web, etc. But in this case, we will create a model to monitor the status of the device manually. Give the model a name, select the Boolean ICMP model type, configure the IP in case it is necessary, and click Create. With this, you will monitor the availability of this service, and in case it failed, the red model would appear automatically. You may repeat this process to add as many models as you need, monitoring other parameters such as ports, process or service checks, and along etc. Instead, for the agent of our network device, we will use the SNMP wizards to add this type of monitoring quickly and easily. This wizard is located in the Agent Management section, and you may choose between the SNMP wizards to obtain hardware and interface metrics or the wizard to obtain metrics through WMI. In this case, we're going to use the wizard for interfaces. Fill in the different fields and run the walk. Now select the metrics and interfaces that you're interested in monitoring, and when you're finished, click Create Models. Pandora FMS will create them automatically. The next step is to configure the alert for your models. The alert system consists of several elements. In this video, we're not going to see them in depth, but we'll leave a video in the description where the function of each of them is explained. We're going to configure an alert that warns us when the device fails, that is, that the host alive module goes into critical status, and another that warns you when the CPU reaches a high use percentage. The latter will need to have a threshold where you will have to configure which values you understand as critical and which ones only as a warning to be able to use these types of alerts. The host alive module, on the other hand, when using the Boolean model type, has the critical threshold configured automatically, and it is not necessary to configure anything else. Once you have your models configured, access the Alerts menu. Select the model you want to add the alert to, the template for critical elements, and the alert trigger threshold. From now on, when the model goes into critical status, you will receive an email with the configured information of this template. Of course, you must have a functional SMTP server configured in the Settings, General Settings section, and your mail defined in the action Mail to Admin. As always, you have more information about it in the description. Another way to add both modules and alerts is using the policies, with which you may configure a template of modules, alerts, plugins, etc., which can be applied massively to several agents at once. You will find them in the Settings Manage Policies section. You may either create one or edit the existing ones and configure them with the different elements you need. For this example, I will just apply the basic remote checks policy. There are two ways to apply policies, either by choosing agent by agent or to an entire group. If you choose to apply it to a whole group, all agents that are added in the future to that group will get the configuration of this policy automatically. And if you choose to apply agent by agent, you will have to add these agents and apply manually every time you create a new agent. Select the agent, go to the Queue section and apply the policy. If you now turn to your agent, you will see that the policy modules were already created. Once you have your metrics and alerting set up, how will the information be displayed? At Pandora FMS, we have several options for viewing the information collected depending on how you want to see it and the type of information you collect. Here are three of these methods: reports, visual consoles, and dashboards. Reports are located in the Operations section of the menu under Reports, Custom Reports. Create a report with the name you want, group, and description. Reports are a very extensive and useful tool to obtain data from your monitoring, since there are several ways to configure them and many elements to use. For instance, we're going to configure a monitor report of the last 24 hours of our host alive module, where it will indicate the time percentage it stayed in a normal status and a critical status. Of course, you could continue adding as many elements as you need to this report or create a new one with different items. Reports can be sent periodically by email or once and exported to different formats. We'll leave you more information in the description. Another of the most useful tools to represent information in Pandora FMS are the visual consoles, with which you may choose how you want to represent it, since they are almost like a blank canvas. This can be found in the Topological Maps section. Click Create, give it a name and group, and save. Now add elements depending on what you want to see. For example, you may set a histogram of events of the model, an element that shows the current value of this model, and many other elements. When you're finished, you may generate a public link to have this visual console constantly displayed on a smart TV or monitor. There are several workshops on our channel where we talk more in detail about this feature, so if you're curious about it, check out the description of this video. Finally, we're going to create a dashboard where we can quickly see the state of our environment, and which is usually very useful for operators who need to have several references shown on the screen at once. To do this, within the same reporting section, choose Dashboard. Create a new dashboard with the name you want, group, and whether you want it to be private or favorite. The next step will be to select the widget with which we're going to represent the information. Widgets are created by Pandora FMS team and come almost ready to represent any type of information. You may add widgets to display information about an agent, a group, or other Pandora FMS elements such as alerts, events, visual consoles, network maps, etc. Once you're done, you will be able to generate a public link the same way as with visual consoles. Of course, Pandora FMS has many other more advanced features and tools to monitor your environment. So if you're interested in any other features, go to our YouTube channel or documentation. And that was it for today's video. Don't forget it, if you like the video, smile, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Any suggestions, questions, or ideas, please leave them in the comments below.